Sup, dudes? I'm Nate Heater.
And I'm Frank Lamontia.
And we are the Sup Dudes. Coming at you from a parking lot. Actually, not at night this time.
Well, it is night.
It is night, but it's bright out.
Dark.
But we're coming at you again from a parking lot in our car at a movie theater. You know what that means? Say it with me, everyone. Movie review time. Hey, you got it right this time. He doesn't like when I do that. I don't know. So this time we decided to see The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know about the Conjuring series, this one will be actually the most recent one in the chronological timeline of how the movies are made. And this is the 8th installment, or I want to say 8th or 9th installment. We'll put it somewhere, whichever one it is. So that's basically, we'll do a quick synopsis because we usually forget about it.
Are we sure like where it fits in the whole thing? Is it?
Yeah, that is the very last one. I did the research on it beforehand.
Okay.
I did the list. It was like, it went like the complete order, and then it said The Devil Made Me Do It. So I made sure that was the last one, and I made sure that was right.
Okay.
And I'll even put the list like right here of how the movies are supposed to go too.
Okay.
For those that don't know and don't want to look it up.
Sounds good.
So basically this one is about the case of, I want to say his name is Arnie Johnson. You want to look that up for me?
What, the kid?
Yeah, the kid.
Kid is...
Well, where's who?
David Glatzel and Arnie Cheyenne.
Alright, so Arnie Cheyenne and David Glatzel. So basically, it's a true story, by the way, based from Ed and Lorraine Warren, where the devil, or the demon, possesses Arnie to commit a murder. And they're basically, Ed and Lorraine are trying to get him to get off the trial because...
Oh, that's deeper in, yeah.
That's like the main part of the story, is that... So Arnie committed the murder.
Yeah, once
Ed and
you get
Lorraine,
through the preliminary
the stuff at the beginning
and stuff, it gets a little... I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, their whole mission in that movie is to prove the demonic possession, that's what caused him to kill the person in the movie.
Right. Hence the title, "The Devil Made Me Do It."
Exactly.
It's like his defense.
We don't know if it's a devil or not, or just a regular demon.
Now, I thought it was a rather silly title when I first saw it, but if you watch the movie all the way to the end, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, so that's basically a quick synopsis. You can even look up the whole... Yeah, it's a real, like I said, it's a real case. You can look up the whole story behind that, too, if you want to do more research.
It's a typical demonic thing, and if you've been following the Conjuring series, you know what the couple do,
Ed and Lorraine Warren,
yeah, the Warrens.
Ed and Lorraine Warren, yeah.
And, who are played by Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson.
I love how you can see in your glasses that you're looking at the page on your phone.
Well, I want to get the names right.
Yeah, we don't do this.
I mean, I know the names, but I want to, I tend to forget sometimes.
Now, this one's going to be...
And we also know Vera Farmiga is Mrs. Bates from Bates Motel.
Yep.
So, I'm sure she's been in other stuff, but that's
what we know her as.
And also all the Conjuring movies. Well,
yeah,
not all of them, because...
No. La Llorona, I don't think, had any of the main people except for, like, maybe the priest that was in it, but
she's,
Anyway,
go ahead.
Anyway, enough talking about the whole Conjuring series. We're looking at the newest Conjuring.
Yes.
The Devil Made Me Do It.
Yes.
And the devil didn't make me watch this movie, but I'm glad I did. Is that a little corny? Too cheesy?
Well, I'm a little pissed off at the devil then.
So, I like this movie because I watched all the Conjurings, and so is this guy over here. He told me.
Yeah. I think I've seen them all. I don't know so many. I may have missed one or two.
Yeah.
We'll
talk after.
I liked at least 3 of them, I'd say. So
this was one of the better ones in my opinion, instead of like The Nun, La Llorona.
Not too hard to do.
I want to say Annabelle Comes Home wasn't that good. It was Creation or Comes Home.
No, Comes Home was great.
It was one of the Annabelles I didn't care for a lot. I have to do my research and I'll probably put it in there somewhere. And then I think it was the second Conjuring was the one I didn't care for either.
Yeah, the second Conjuring wasn't too good. The first one was really good. So, and it set kind of a high bar, unfortunately, because it was hard for the rest of them to keep up.
Yeah, I don't know if they thought they was going to be.
Did a good job.
I don't know if they thought they were going to continue for as long as they did, but
who knows?
I mean, we joke about The Nun all the time in these reviews about how bad it was.
And we were unfortunately reminded of her in this one.
Oh yeah, that's actually one of the cool parts about this movie. You see kind of a flashback to everything. Like you see the picture of the nun, you see Annabelle in the background of one of the couple of shots.
It's in their thing.
It's a what is it? Just a
the
Easter egg.
The kind of like warehouse that they have in their house.
You get kind of like a little Easter egg because you see it right away.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess we'll start with our goods and bads. We'll start with our goods like usual. I'm gonna go ahead first because I actually like the movie and I kind of want to go first for once.
Go ahead. for
So,
once. Yeah.
Yeah, usually I let you go first for a lot of the movies you don't like.
It depends. Oh, for the ones I don't like.
Yeah, for the ones you don't like, we're going to go first. I'm going to try to go fast because this car is hot. So, and I don't want to put the AC on because that's too loud and you won't be able to hear me talk.
And we don't want to open the windows because there's people around talking.
Yep, exactly. So, I liked a lot about the movie. It kept my attention throughout the whole entire thing. I was kind of able to follow everything, I will say that. Cinematography, of course, as he jokes that I went to college for film. I only went for like a year.
I mean, that's not a bad thing, but you know.
So I like the cinematography that they had, some of the camera work, and they had some good music, some oldie music.
Yeah.
Elvis, and I can't remember the other song off the top of my head. They played in the beginning.
Yeah, there was. I mean.
But I will say the guy who plays Arnie, which I didn't get his name and everything, but we'll just throw it up on the screen right now. I liked what he did with his role that he had to be because he was the one that got possessed later on in the movie. Spoiler alert, but you're going to find that out within like the first couple minutes of the movie. Mm-hmm. So not really much of a spoiler alert.
Which is kind of like a throwback to The Exorcist where, should I say why he got possessed?
Yeah, why not? It's going to be.
Well, yeah, he asked to be possessed to get it out of the little kids.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not really much of a spoiler when it's in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it's true.
And they can also, it's a true story. They can look up the case itself, and it might have it in there, so. Like I said, those were some of the good cinematography. The acting that he did was good, of course. The people who portray Ed and Lorraine Warren are always good in their movies or whenever they're in. Mm-hmm. And it's horror. I like horror. I just thought this was a really good movie with a lot of good, special effects makeup, too. I loved a lot of the special effects makeup, too.
Yeah.
So that was really good, too.
Well, I'll talk about that in a minute.
All right, you're good. You're good.
Okay. All right. I didn't care for it too much. I think it was too many cliches.
That's any horror movie.
Yeah, but, you know, you have to use all of them. And some of the jump scares were unnecessary. I think they just threw them in just for jump scares.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
And
I'm rolling on to get a little bit of air in here.
And the dialogue was a little, I don't know, cheesy at times. And now the acting was good, but I think maybe the writing made it seem not so great.
Well, it's hard because they have to base it off a true story.
Yeah, but still, you can still dress it up. But the acting was fairly decent.
I forgot to mention
the makeup.
I was gonna say.
All right, some of the makeup was pretty cool. Again, one of the creatures or spirits or whatever, I'd seen that type of look in the face before too. I mean, I know it's hard to come up with an original demon all the time, but it was a very basic one that I've seen several times. So
I also want to quickly throw out there were a lot of great transitions when it came to like one person transitioning into another person. I will say that, like.
You mean like getting possessed or something?
No, not even getting possessed. Like when we saw Lorraine, I kind of don't want to ruin it, but whatever. When she was going over what Jessica was doing.
Okay.
And it showed like what Jessica would do, and then Lorraine would jump in.
I gotta say that was good. Yeah, you don't want to get too much into that, but yeah. Then
towards the end, when Lorraine and like the person who's playing like the devil, the demon, at the very end that you're talking about, where they switched.
Well, actually, she's a witch, but
yeah, that was a great transition too. I really liked that.
All right, Satanist.
Yeah, Satanist. We'll call him that.
Not say witch because witch isn't necessarily bad. Neither are Satanists, to be honest with you, but we're not going to go there. That's a political thing.
Yep. All right. Time for bads. So I guess
I think I kind of did my bads.
All right.
Yeah, it's to me it was like standard cliche. You know, a lot of the stuff you kind of saw coming. It wasn't horrible though. It was not horrible. Like I said, I have low standards for horror movies these days because they disappoint me. Not low standards, but low expectations. So, like I said, I wasn't expecting much. Maybe I was expecting a little more than most others because of the Conjuring,
yeah.
And you know they should try and keep it up, even though they had a couple of clunkers.
Yeah.
But
clinkers.
But it wasn't horrible. So go ahead.
A couple of my bads. I mean, I don't really like. It wasn't like a terrible movie. It wasn't like an outstanding movie that like I'm gonna be talking about for like weeks and months on end. Mm-hmm. AKA Joker, Nobody, for example. He knows. I mean, some scenes were dark, but I kind of understand why.
Yeah, that's another pet peeve of mine. When the scene is so dark, you can't even see the action. But in this case, you kind of like, you can feel what's going on, and you know, because of the nature of the movie. And also, one of my other pet peeves about not hearing the dialogue because the background sound is so overproduced.
Well, I want to blame the movie theater on that one.
All right. Well, this is what. Let me finish.
Yeah.
So I actually heard the dialogue in this one. There are a couple scenes where the background music was incredibly loud, but that's because of one of the characters being very annoying. And I think the theater played it way too loud too, because it was kind of like an assault on my senses.
Like, I mean, they had jump scares, but I feel as though a lot of the jump scares hit me because of like the sound. The sound was just like ring right in my ear. Like,
which sometimes the movie does that too, but I think the theater just played it way too loud.
Yeah, so we're not going to take away from the movie for that. Now, I do want to throw out something quickly for you too.
Go ahead.
We recently did a review for The Unholy, and I'm kind of want to compare the two between The Conjuring, because The Conjuring always has like more of a religious theme.
Yeah.
And so did The Unholy.
Well, it had a religious theme because it's exorcisms and so the church gets involved,
satanic,
and things like that.
satanic cults, pentagrams.
I mean, it's like built in.
Yeah, so I just want to say that I honestly preferred The Conjuring.
Did you?
Over The Unholy. Now I don't know if my rating doesn't reflect that. I apologize. I don't remember what I gave. I forgot what I gave The Unholy. I think I gave like a 7.5, but like
I honestly don't remember what I gave The Unholy.
You gave Unholy a good one. You gave it a good rating because I remember you said that like
probably a 5.5, something like that.
No, I think you gave it a higher one because you were saying about like
it was more
you set your low expectation.
Maybe like a 7.
You gave it like you had like low expectations and
we'll let you know.
Yeah,
but
I just want to say that comparing the two that we saw recently, I would prefer The Conjuring over The Unholy, even though there was Negan in The Unholy.
Why even though?
Because I like Negan.
Oh, okay.
I like him as an actor.
All right, yeah, he was good. And I prefer The Unholy over this, only because, The Unholy had a couple of cliches too, but their jump scares were done better, and they were well placed. The acting was kind of not as good, but it wasn't horrible either. But go ahead.
All right, well,
we're not doing The Unholy. We're doing The Conjuring.
Yeah, we're doing The Conjuring.
The devil made me do it.
So, at this point,
I think that's a silly title, but it does make sense.
At this point, we usually give our scores. So, I'll go first. And like I said, if my score doesn't reflect what it said about The Unholy, I apologize. I don't keep track of these. And I wish I could go back and give The Unholy a little bit less of a score if I need to make this one. I mean, I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Okay.
Out of 10.
It's probably around the same.
I want to say it's probably around the same. Maybe 7.5 for The Unholy. I could do a comparison right now. But I'll say 7 witch statues out of 10.
Witch statues.
You'll get it when you watch the movie.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to give it. 7.
Trying to do that now. Customize the ratings.
Exactly.
Okay.
7 witch statues out of 10.
Okay.
So what's your rating?
I'm tempted just to go middle of the road just to get a rating. Like a 5, a flat 5.
5 what?
Just a flat 5.
No, 5 what?
Witch statues.
There you go.
I think I'll bump it up a little. I'll give it a 6.
6 witch statues.
6 witch statues.
That's hard to say.
Maybe 5 witch statue and a satanic candle. But no, 6 witch statues.
I would love to see me try to edit that.
Witch statues.
5 witch statues and a satanic candle. I'm gonna try to edit that if I can.
But I mean, like I said, it wasn't horrible. It was just a little cliched for me, a little, and it went from like a little boring to cliche to predictable to sappy, but that, I guess, is a little bit for everybody.
So at this point, we usually recommend if you would watch a movie or not. Now, I want to say right off the bat, if you're a fan of The Conjuring and you watch the whole entire Conjuring, you need to see it because it goes into the story that keeps going on. If you're not a fan of The Conjuring, watch it because I think people would enjoy a couple of the movies, not some, none.
I mean, it's not intolerable.
So yeah, basically, I would recommend going to a movie theater and seeing it. I don't know about you, Frank.
You get to see it at home.
I just say see it to get into the whole Conjuring series.
Turn the lights off so you can get better impact of the jump scares. You don't need to see these on a big screen, but that's my opinion.
I think it makes it better, honestly, for a horror movie, especially.
Yeah, but it's not worth it for this one.
All right, well, that about does it. With that being said, I'm Nate Heater.
And I'm Frank Lamantia.
And we are the Subdudes. So long. I mean, I should have came up with something better than witch statues. It's kind of hard to say.
We trust. What?
I should have came up with something better than witch statues. It's kind of hard to say, you know.
Right.
Yeah, we should have came up with something a little bit better. Maybe pentagrams? I don't know.
Well, they didn't use a pentagram.
Yeah, they did later on in the...
Did they?